In 1990, 8 high school seniors vanished while celebrating graduation on a private yacht off the California coast. No wreckage, no bodies, just a brief radio transmission begging for help. In 2025, divers discovered the yacht intact on the ocean floor, with all 8 bodies still on board. A handwritten letter revealed the terrifying truth. It wasn't an accident. It was murder. June 2, 1990. 8 students from Ravenshill Academy, an elite private high school near Santa Barbara, boarded a rented yacht named the Meridian to celebrate their graduation. The group included 5 boys and 3 girls, all aged 17 to 18, all children of wealthy families with political or business connections. The yacht had been arranged through one of the students' fathers, who waived the need for a licensed captain or adult supervision. The plan was to party offshore overnight and return by midday. By 9 p.m., the yacht had sailed past the last visible stretch of coast. Weather reports noted clear skies, calm waters, and no incoming storms. Around 11:30 p.m., a radio transmission reached a coastal monitoring station. The voice, a teenage girl's, was faint and panicked. She said, "Please, he's not who you think," before the signal cut off. Attempts to re-establish contact failed. When the yacht didn't return the next morning, families called the Coast Guard. A full search was launched within 12 hours. Planes, helicopters, and patrol boats scoured a 300-mile radius for 3 days. No flares, no debris, no oil slick, just open water. By the 5th day, the search was scaled back. By the 10th, it was declared a probable maritime accident. The official report cited possible engine failure, disorientation, and capsizing. Investigators noted the lack of evidence but concluded the vessel likely sank due to unforeseen weather or mechanical issues. The media speculated about wild partying, drug use, and recklessness. No criminal investigation followed. The parents, embarrassed and grieving, declined further comment. Privately, some officers questioned the silence. The boat was equipped with multiple emergency radios and a basic GPS unit. One transmission suggested foul play, but without physical evidence, no leads were pursued. Only a few detectives kept copies of the case. The yacht became a ghost story among local fishermen and divers. The missing students were romanticized in tabloid specials and conspiracy forums. Over the years, theories circulated: pirates, drug runners, a freak wave, even alien abduction. But with no proof, the world moved on. Ravenshill Academy held a memorial in 1991. 8 candles were lit. A new scholarship was created in their names. The case was closed. No bodies, no answers. Only a voice, lost in static. July 14, 2025. A marine research team from the University of San Diego was conducting sonar mapping operations 210 miles southwest of Santa Barbara. They were documenting underwater ridges when one of the technicians noticed an anomaly on the scanner. A long, narrow shape partially embedded in the seabed, unusually well preserved. A remotely operated vehicle was deployed for visual confirmation. The footage came back within minutes. It showed a white yacht, tilted slightly bow down, resting intact on the ocean floor. No signs of explosion, no major hull damage, no marine overgrowth typical of 35 years underwater. The name was still readable on the stern: the Meridian. Once confirmed, the site was marked and relayed to the Coast Guard. Within 48 hours, a joint dive mission was organized involving marine forensic experts and law enforcement. The vessel was accessed through the stern hatch, which was unlocked. Inside, the air pockets were long gone, but many of the yacht's compartments had remained sealed, preserving contents unusually well. The divers found 8 decomposed bodies. Skeletal remains showed signs of differential decomposition. Forensics later confirmed that 5 of them had died within the same 12-hour window. 2 more appeared to have died days later. One skeleton was positioned separately in the lower galley area, seated, with a sealed plastic folder resting beside it. That folder contained a single handwritten letter. It was water-damaged but largely legible. The ink had faded in places, but most of the message was recoverable. The note was signed, Anna Coleridge. Initial examination revealed further irregularities. One of the skulls showed a clean entry wound near the temple consistent with a small caliber bullet. Several ribs and 2 bodies were cracked at angles matching blunt force trauma. Dried traces of blood were identified on a broken cabinet edge. There were no food supplies remaining. Emergency flares were untouched. The radio panel was deliberately smashed. Fingerprint residue was still present on the pistol found in the kitchen drawer. Ballistic comparison linked the gun to the head wound. It had not discharged since 1990. The yacht was raised in sections and towed to a secure naval facility for further examination. The public was told only that a historic vessel had been found. But within days, the contents of Anna's letter were leaked. The narrative of an accident was over. The Meridian hadn't sunk in a storm. It had become a tomb. And someone had survived long enough to tell the truth. The letter found with Anna Coleridge's remains was dated June 10, 1990. It began with a clear statement. If someone finds this, please believe what I write. This wasn't an accident. It was murder. The following pages described, in careful handwriting, a chronological account of the events that unfolded aboard the Meridian. According to Anna, the first few hours of the graduation party were normal. Music played, drinks were passed around, and the group danced on the upper deck. Around midnight, one of the students, Mason Hale, became aggressive. He had a long history of entitlement and violent outbursts that the school had ignored due to his father's political status. Anna wrote that Mason brought a small duffel bag on board without anyone checking it. Inside was a revolver, pills, and a vial of liquid he claimed was for emergencies. At some point, Anna's friend Marcy refused Mason's advances. Witnesses laughed. Mason didn't. Minutes later, people started feeling dizzy. Anna suspected the drinks had been spiked. Arguments broke out. One student, Brandon Keyes, accused Mason of drugging them and tried to take control of the situation. Mason responded by pulling the revolver and shooting Brandon in the chest. Panic spread. Someone tried to use the yacht's radio. Mason destroyed it with the revolver's grip and ordered everyone to stay below deck. He took control of the engine and turned off the boat's navigation system. For 3 days, they drifted. Mason hoarded the emergency food and water. When 2 students attempted to overpower him on the second night, he pistol-whipped one and locked the other in a cabin. Anna hid and began documenting everything in a notebook. On the 4th day, a storm approached. Mason fell asleep after drinking heavily. Anna retrieved the revolver from his belt and shot him while he slept. She checked the others. 2 had died overnight. Another was unconscious and would not wake. She realized she was the last one capable of movement. She spent her final days in the galley, rationing what little food was left. She wrapped her journal in plastic and sealed it with tape she found in the utility drawer. Her last lines were short, almost unreadable from water damage. "I'm sorry. Please tell our parents. He did this. I tried to stop him. Don't let him be remembered as the victim. Tell the truth." The letter was authenticated by 2 independent forensic analysts. The ink, paper type, handwriting, and syntax matched multiple school assignments submitted by Anna Coleridge before 1990. Law enforcement compared known fingerprints found on the sealed folder to Anna's archived school records and confirmed identity with 97% certainty. The recovered revolver was registered to Gerald Hale, Mason's father, a sitting state senator at the time of the incident. As media outlets picked up the story, the truth unraveled quickly. Investigative journalists uncovered prior complaints against Mason Hale during his time at Ravenshill Academy. 3 separate female students had reported threats or coercion, none of which were formally recorded. One former school counselor admitted under oath that they were told to keep things quiet by administrators who feared backlash from powerful donors. Ravenshill had long accepted donations from the Hale family. In 1990, Senator Hale had coordinated directly with the Coast Guard during the initial search. Call logs revealed that he requested the search area be limited to 50 miles offshore and discouraged press briefings. A whistleblower from his former staff stepped forward in 2025, providing internal memos suggesting the senator knew the yacht was likely farther out but wanted to avoid further scrutiny. This was the first concrete evidence of a deliberate cover-up. The California Attorney General's office reopened the case under charges of obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, and conspiracy. Gerald Hale, now 72 and retired, was brought in for questioning. He denied any involvement in suppressing the investigation. However, 2 former aides testified that he had ordered them to destroy documents and reroute inquiries away from his son's involvement. Financial records showed large donations made to the Coast Guard's local station in 1991. Public reaction was immediate. Memorials were held for the victims, now formally declared murdered. Ravens Hill Academy faced civil lawsuits from surviving family members. The California Board of Education opened a review of private school misconduct reporting policies. Anna Coleridge was posthumously awarded a state medal for bravery. Gerald Hale was indicted by a grand jury in December 2025. He died in federal custody from a stroke 6 weeks later before trial began. The revolver, the letter, and Anna's sealed notebook were placed on permanent display at the California State Justice Museum. Her final words, engraved on the plaque beneath the display, read, "She told the truth when no one else would, and the ocean gave her back to us."